have them contract both glutes and then lift. Okay? This is to ensure that they're not utilizing any swing, because a lot of times from here, they'll try and come up with the quad and swing back or swing open. It's a little bit safer one to kind of start out with. Okay? I mentioned when we were in the classroom, the step ups. Okay? Easy way to see if they're firing those glutes versus firing those quads. Another way is if they're not getting it on the step up and they're not driving up, keeping that chest up as they go, have them do a step down. Okay? So when they're on that box, you're going to have them sink back, hips back, nice and slow, all the way down until that foot touches the ground. If they don't want to fall on their butt, their glute's going to fire. Okay? If not, they're going to fall right off that box. Another one that's great for glute activation, which is very, very difficult for a lot of people to do, especially if their glutes don't fire, is the reverse lunge. Okay? When you lunge forward, okay, you can have them squeeze their glutes, come straight up. When they have to push back onto that back leg, so from here, pushing up and holding, they're going to have to fire this glute in order to balance here and then step back into the next one. So right from here, driving up and stepping backwards. Who wants to come try? You don't want me to pitch, trust me. Come on. So you're going to start here. Okay. I'll just paint it a little tight. So right from here, you're going to drive back onto this back foot, drive that knee up, and hold. Good. Okay, and then back down. Good, and then up again, and back down. Good. So while you're doing that, she has to activate, go ahead back, right, there you go. She has to fire this glute on this side to pull her back up. Go ahead, pull up, and hold right there. Okay. That balance is all coming from that glute. Okay, go, thanks. Okay. So now, let's talk about using that glute activation. So we got them to learn how to kind of make that fire. And you can do it a bunch of different ways. You can use the Vertec machine, you can have mini bands, whatever way you want to get their glutes to kind of fire and start working. Then you're going to do a nice drill that you would expect to be really simple. Not for a lot of people. Okay? Joelle, why don't you come over here? You might do it right though. Start in a nice athletic stance here. Okay, right next to the cone, whichever side. When I say go, I just want you to sprint past that cone, okay? Ready? Just sprint out. And go. Oh, you cheater, you know what I was going to do. Get back over there. Try someone else.
Try John.
Okay, as fast as you can. I want you to get down the cone. Ready? Go. Oh, he did it! All right, I got somebody's going to do this wrong. John? No, just kidding. Any other volunteers? Come on. It's a good thing if you do it wrong. Right, if I do it wrong, you're going to race me. As soon as I say go, no, you don't know. You don't know what wrong is yet, do you? Maybe. Okay, ready? Go. Okay, so she voluntarily did it wrong for you guys, because I know she wanted to do it right. She took this giant fall step backwards, okay? When she wanted to go forward, she went backwards to go forward, okay? So apply the step. Some will argue that it was too faster, but when you want to talk about teaching that pushover, you really want them to eliminate that plyo step. So you want them to start in a nice athletic stance here. You'll tell them to step out onto that right foot while they extend and go through that triple extension on that back leg on the left foot. So you'll have them go from here, push off, into that sprint, okay? Anybody want to try it? Go ahead. Come on. You guys are all going to try something at some point. I might as well pick the one that's not too hard. Anybody?
Track team, go. Come on.
You're on the track team, let's go. Okay, nice athletic stance. Okay, when I say go, work on extending off that back leg and pushing out. And go. There you go. See? She did it right. So that's how you want to break it down to them. You want to break it down so they can understand that push off, that push off, that push off. Once they get it and grasp it, you want to make it a little bit harder. Okay? You can have them do it from a foot fire. So starting right here, sprint, working on that push off. You want to kind of mess with their head a little bit, make sure they're able to do it, not just in this controlled, slow setting, but when they're out on that field. Okay? It comes with, whether you're talking about linear movement or lateral cut, you're talking about football, you come down here, cut to push out. You don't want them to cut and plyo step out. It's going to take too long. Okay? They're never going to get that touchdown. Moving right along. Valerie, you want to come up here again and demonstrate what you were talking about in the classroom? The 1 3 5? Right over here. Okay. So So right here, she's going to make sure that her arms are level. She has a straight line from her head, right down through her back, all the way to her heels, and she's on the ball of her foot. Okay, she's going to pick one leg up. Okay, when I say the number 1, she's going to snap that back and switch with the other foot. 1. Okay, if I say 3, she's going to go 3. Good. Okay, so what that allows her to do is to pull straight back. Allows her to pull straight back into that snapping motion to work on that snap, so when she pushes off. Okay? What I would do at them after that, I'll have John demonstrate. I know John won't pull me.
You're on it.
Okay. Okay? He's just going to go from this cone to the next cone. He's going to work on high knees. Okay? So he's not trying to sprint out. He's not trying to open up that stride. He's working on driving those knees up and down, nice and quick and rapid. It's your job as a trainer to have as much tension on this as you need to have him at a diagonal body. If John's running straight up like this, I'm not holding him enough. I'm not giving enough tension for him to get to that driving pattern to really get that snap back and that push over that he needs. If he's crawling on the ground, I am holding him way too tight. I have done my bicep curls for the day. So, nice athletic stance, John. And go. Drive him up, drive him up, drive him up. Okay. Good. Come out. Anybody want to try? Anybody want to be holder? You got a holder, pick your partner. Yeah, I'm just going to run for you. So start that nice athletic stance. Now you always want one drill to tie into the next drill. You never want them to forget about it. Even if it's just your warm-up, you want to teach those principles from your warm-up through your cool-down. So even though he's doing a resistance sprint right now, we're still going to start him in that athletic stance. You're going to take your phone so you're not going to knock it off your hip. Okay. You want him to start in that athletic stance. You want him driving those feet up and down nice and quick, getting into that body angle. Ready? Tell him when you go. It's on you. Go. There you go. Okay. Good. Now let's teach him what we teach the little kids. We want to be nice and quiet when we make our steps, right? Because if not, what happens is the energy gets to keep all your ground, and it's kind of a bully. The ground gets to keep all your energy, and it's kind of a bully and doesn't like to give it back. So anytime you hear those kids landing like this, okay, you want to tell them to be quiet. It's a nice soft landing, so the absorption of energy goes back up into your hip. So as he goes, I'm going to blame on his shoes, but you know, just in case it's not the shoes, we'll tell him for next time that he wants to drive, get that quick snap down, but he wants to be able to absorb and use that as his next momentum. Okay? Thanks, guys. So now I want to go back to that 1-3-5 drill, okay, that we did on the wall with Fallon. There's ways to advance that drill that can kind of teach that push. So we've done a lot of drills where we're teaching that snap back and that snap down, but we haven't necessarily taught that snap down to that push over and actually using that glute again, okay? Now you can do the high knees into an actual full sprint out, that'll do it. What I like to do, and this is a hard drill for a lot of people to grasp, it's a lot easier for someone who's played football before to grasp and put their head around it first, because you're basically asking them to drive down and then push like they're pushing through a sled, okay? They don't really understand that concept, it's going to be very difficult. So there's only going to be a select few athletes that you actually want to do this with. So if you guys want to gather around here to be able to see a little bit better. So what you're going to do is you're going to have them come from here. You're going to have them snap down. I don't call out 1, 3, or 5 for this. I let them do it on their own because it is something that they want to get that patterning of. So they're going to snap down to the leg in the back. Then they're going to extend off of that leg and basically try and push through the wall. So right from here, it's going to go snap, push. So do you see that separation of movement as opposed to just the 1, 3, 5 of just snap, that snap and that push, okay? Once they grasp that against the wall, I'll actually take them and put them on the prowler or on the sled and do that same thing where it's just a drive, push, to really emphasize that. I'll do about 3, 4, 5 on each side and then have them sprint with that sled to make sure that they're using those glutes, firing their glutes. Now when it comes to angles on the sled, what you want to be careful of is that they're not like this. I'm pushing the sled from here because that's going to be their quads. You want a nice straight body line all the way down from their head down to their ankles, just like we had on the wall, okay? Especially when it comes to the pushover drill, if they're too high up here, they're gonna snap and their push is going to come from their upper body. They're not going to use that leg. If they're here with a straight line, they'll snap, and that push will come up through that lower body. Okay? So the last one I want to show you guys is our either our Stroop spins. Now, this is not something you'll see in a normal athletic training room. You might have to go to your weight room. You might not even have it in your weight room. But we all have TheraBands, right? We all have some form of banding that we can use. These just happen to be the ones that we use. Stroops is one of our partners. We love all of their equipment. It's really good. They have connectors that you can attach all different ones to all different pieces of equipment, so you can pretty much do anything you want with all of their stuff. So John, you want to come over to the left for me? Bye. So now their equipment's really good because you can pretty much attach it anywhere. I can hook it onto a fence. I can stand on it. I can hold it. I can do whatever I need to. Hook it right onto the wall. So for this instance, I'm just going to stand on it for him. So he's going to work on driving his knee up and then down. So right from here, he's going to drive up, and then the band's going to help him snap back down. So it's going to help that pull down. So when we had the other drills that we've been doing, we've been actively doing it, whereas this, the band's going to make him fire and drive backward. So it's going to make that glute fire. Okay, makes sense? Okay. And go ahead. So drive straight.
Full speed?
Huh? Yeah. All right, so now, do you guys have any questions on what we've done so far for linear? I know we're flying through it because I want to give you guys time to kind of practice yourself. So what I'll do is I'll let you guys kind of pick up some equipment, whatever you want to practice with, try it out for a few minutes, and then we'll regroup and go back into linear, or into lateral, sorry. Okay, so ask us any questions. That's why Sophia and John are both here. Whatever you guys need to ask.